Billin of Town Murf.
Top Billin villains.
Yo, make sure you're locked. All my villains, make sure you're liking the content, sharing the content, obviously because sharing is caring. Don't be a Karen. Make sure you're sharing and make sure you're subscribed. Now listen, I said I was going to give credit where credit is due. There are some teams that had some really good drafts in my opinion, and I wanted to break those drafts down. None more so than the Atlanta Falcons, right? Now you had some people, right, they were tripped out of their mind talking about some, hey Murf, thanks for showing the Falcons some love. I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. There's no love lost between me and the Atlanta Falcons fan base, right? A team that I covered all them years. Yeah, you know I'm keeping it 100. I believe the Falcons have had one of the best drafts, and it was a small draft, right? You talking about the value that they got and all that. I just had to come through and dissect this bad boy, and I wanted to talk about your man, Xavier Watts. Now, that's really what hit home for me, right? The Jalen Walker joint was absolutely nasty, and they followed it up with James Pierce. Keep in mind, this is a team that has Arnold Ebiketie. It has Leonard Floyd and Braylon Trice all at edge. I mean, those guys working in conjunction with elite-level talent like my man A.J. Terrell or Jesse Bates, Kaden Ellis. I mean, guys like Troy Anderson on that team, David Onyemata. Like, come on now. What has gotten into the Atlanta Falcons? That defense may no longer be an Achilles heel, man. I'm telling you. And your man Xavier Watts may be a huge part of that. The ability to be effective no matter the assignment. They can work this dude at a post safety. Obviously, they're going to play a little bit of split safety role, right? You can put him at nickel, right? They also got Billy Bowman in the draft as well, right? I might have to swing back around on him as well. Those guys could flip each other's style. You could put him in the nickel, right, and put Bowman back there. There's like a whole bunch of different shit that they can do when you start adding guys with this type of versatility, right? And, of course, he can sniff the box with the best of them. We'll show some of that as well. A man can definitely be added in as a dime second-level defender, right? He can do all that shit, right? But his range is what stands out to me. Y'all know if I see it, I got to start there. My man's getting it in right here from the post. And they give him a lot of things to think about as well, right? Got a mesh concept going on initially right here. You look like you're going to have an over route by the outside receiver. Then you get a slot fade here, which he ends up having to defend, right, by the tight slot there, right? So a lot of shit to think about. We'll work this full speed here. Look at that. Look at him diagnosing. Yeah, bing. Got that bad boy. Listen, that's some Earl Thomas type shit, right? I hate to invoke that type of name, right? I'm not saying he's Earl Thomas, but man, that type of range right there in the Atlanta Falcons secondary, along with a Jesse Bates knowing what he can do there, right? It's one thing to have range. It's another thing to have football intelligence to be able to use that, right? Going and be able to split the difference, right? They're showing him shit to keep him to keep him occupied so he can't help out over there. But he read the quarterback's eyes really well right there, and he's the one to get over there. And look at that. Gets his hands on that pass, impacts it something serious. Run back both ways. Let's go. Pedal, commit, range, fine, locked it. Let's go. One more time right there. You can see him pedaling, diagnosing, breaking on it. Nasty. Now, this is a very similar play. This might be my favorite, right? He's working a true post. You get trips to the field side there, right? Another mesh concept from the outside in. You're going to get a seam route from the slot receiver, outside receiver, kind of running a bender, right? A dig. And you see, man, they're giving him something he can think about for sure there. He's going to make this on the fly, but the range, but the ability to flip the hips. Look at that. Coming out of the pedal, stayed in his pedal a long time, committed, and then flipped his hips. You saw that? Oh! And made a play on the ball. Got himself a PBU. This is some high-level elite type shit. Man, damn, I wish I had a better angle so you could see the hip flip. But you can see him right there. the type of plane that he takes because he's flipping his hips. Like, who taught this cat, right? I would love to know who he came up with under it, right? Or if he learned this at Notre Dame. But check him out, right? Coming in the pedal, he stays committed to that pedal until his assignment appears, right? You never know. It could have been the outside receiver, could have been going to the deepest, right? But he stays on that seam route. He commits. My man kind of gave him a jab to the inside, right? A one to the inside. And then he followed that. But he's able to get back into play because he then does what? Flips his hips. Look at that. Turns, flips his hips, and stays on the path, on the flight of the ball. Oh, my God. Look at him get up for the downstroke. I can dig it, man. He was pissed off, too. He didn't get that bad, boy. Look at that. Look at the emotion. He thought he should have had it. That's a difficult play to even do, let alone think that you should have a turnover off of. Watch this. They're going to rotate. He's going to roll up over the slot here in man coverage, and I want you to watch his hips. Check this out. Rolling over, man coverage, off man coverage, getting the signal. My man's not a post safety. Now watch that. Commits, flips the hips, drives on the ball, breaks it up. That's not like a legitimate slot corner. You see him right here. Right? Like, check that off right there. I love that Notre Dame defense, man. I absolutely couldn't wait to do this drawing right here. But you see right there, man, I wish we could have showed that bad boy. It's better I'll say it than the other way. See him right there. Work out of the pedal, right? He's doing a good job because guess what? You get these dumbasses up here talking about some speed turn and shit like that, right? If the receiver were to then bend him to the post or whatever like that, he wouldn't then turn all the way around. What he does is flips his hips, and it keeps him in a 50-50 proposition. He's in an even exchange scenario there, and then you see it. He's able to drive on the ball right there because he kept his body parallel. Look, turn, flip, drive. That easy. And that's coming from your post safety, a guy we know can also work the middle, right? No diddy. I look at your man, Xavier Watts, as a sure tackler, right? Not necessarily one of these guys that are a huge, big hitter. To be honest with you, I like my guys to be more sure tacklers than anything. A lot of those big hitter dudes always be bouncing off of cats, right? They'll lay you out, but you'll lay them out as well. Watch my man right here run the ollie right here, right? Watch him serve cracking the alleyway. Look at this. Coming off the pedal, quickly diagnosing right here, getting downhill and bang. Right. He did make the tackle, right? This was a meeting of the minds right there. Look, he broke down. He didn't really get a chance to set his feet and break down in space. Sometimes you can't do that, right? You got some of these backs that are elusive. They didn't necessarily get to bring his pads on this one, right? But you're going to go down anyway. He's going to at least leave you where you stand. He did get by with a little help from his friend right there, right? So, right, he had to sit on his pockets, though, right? He sat on his own pockets with that drawing, but, hey, he made the tackle, right? He didn't necessarily knock the back forward. But this is a tough tackle to make. I usually like to take inside shoulder force, right? I want to kind of force him to the sideline because I believe that I can get out there quicker and it'll be a cleaner tackle than trying to force him back inside, even though you would say, all right, there's more help back towards the inside. But if those guys aren't coming that way, you know what I mean? You could definitely miss a tackle like that. But he did get his head on the outside. He just wasn't able to plant. You see right here, it's too narrow in his base there. But, hey, the results are the results. This man wasn't going nowhere. He ends up wrapping him up, gator rolling him kind of, right? I like that joint right here. Let's look at it full speed coming down this way. Right, diagnose. There we go. Get it, bang. There you go. I'm telling you, he's got that duality to his game. Right? He can be a strong or free safety depending on what's going on. He's that dude. He's the deal. Here's an example of what I was talking about right there. You can see him quickly diagnose. He's going to take that inside shoulder force it to the sideline, and then he's able to corral the guy out of bounds right here. A little bit cleaner, easier of a tackle, right? If they're outside your shoulder work or outside your framework, being able to get that right there. But he takes really good angles, I noticed, for him, right? He's able to bog it down, put it in second gear. He has some really good quickness, right? His 0 to 60 start and stop is really good there. You're not really going to get by him, right? You're not always going to make tackles at or around the line of scrimmage. If you're a free safety, if you're working a post and all that, right, you're going to make tackles downfield. You just need to make the tackle. That's when it becomes a problem, right? It's a 20-yard game before it gets to you. It just needs to be a 20-yard game. It doesn't necessarily need to then turn into a 40-yard game because you missed the tackle. Here we go again. The back trying to get to the edge. You get him trying to corral him. Does a good job and prevents a first down. I think this went for no gain. Turnover on downs. Look at that. You see how he's doing that? Just like I said, right? Forcing him to the sideline. I feel if he was trying to get it to where he was going to let him cut back, maybe he cuts back against the grain, and then he, gets that yard there. But force him like that to be able to then wrap him and roll him, outstanding, man. I just like the angles this dude takes. Like, look at the plane that he's on. See that right there? He's bogging it down when the running back is bogging it down, and then he's able to reaccelerate as well. Look at that. Let's look at it from this direction here. Here he is right here. Look at the eye discipline, and quickly react to that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is how you would draw it up for somebody like that. This is a really polished safety. Getting him in the third round, man, I think it's some serious value, man. Damn. You see him here coming off the left side of the offensive formation. He's a good blitzer, too. Look at the move on the running backs. Hesied on the running back. Bang. Fertilized Tyler Shuck, the quarterback. Look at him. Come like a blur. Stick that hezzy. And then bang, your boy Tyler Shuck just had to just chunk it up, right? He was in FEMA mode just trying to survive right there. He just threw that bad boy up. Damn, did he almost complete that shit, though? That's hard. Look at this right here. Coming off this side, I want you to see the move on the running back, right? Sees the running back. You see him start to chop it up, give him that hezzy. Hezzied him, jabbed him to the inside, and then was able to keep right there. The running back damn near parked it, right? He put him in park. Bang, parked him, and then right on Tyler Shuck, made him hurry to throw there. Oh, he almost threw an interception. It was PBU. Great pressure. Hyped up still. You'll see him appear in your screen right here, sniffing, and watch him force this turnover. He's just a ball magnet. Here he is right here. Look at him arrive to the party, and then bang, right? Guitar string that dude. Guitar string him, right? Made his shit roll up. Made his wrist ligaments roll up right there. Guitar stringing him. Boom. You can see the ball come out right there and force the fumble, getting to it right there. You knew it too. Look at that right there. You always want to see your safety be involved in every aspect. That's that new age safety. No more just being a specialist. Speaking of being a ball magnet, here you go. Right back at his post. Posted coming out of the pedal. Reading that bad boy. Drive it on the tight. Oh, looked like it was a slot receiver. And it looked like the slot receiver fumbled the ball when he was catching it. And you see him getting himself another turnover. Here's right here. You see them roll. Now you can see what they did right there. Look, he was to the strength of the formation. To the strength of the formation, they rolled it. So they're not going to have him just follow like he's a designated strong safety. They'll just run and put the other safety there. Now he becomes the safety to the strength of the formation. And then, of course, Watts becomes the post safety there. Look at this, though. But look at him appear on your screen. Look at that. You saw what that was, though? My man took his eye off the ball. Those are tough. If you're a receiver, those are very tough, right? Especially if it's not thrown perfectly. You have to jump. He's going to take his eye off the ball looking at the hit. You see it right there? My man was looking for the hit. We'll go back to it. You can see it. Look at that. Doesn't quite have the ball, but he's looking for it right down. And Watts is not even there. But look, he's Johnny on the spot. Catches that bad boy. Gets him an interception. And then flips the field, too. You can pick him up and put him down and scoop. There you have it, man. The Falcons in the third round getting Xavier Watts and followed that up with Billy Bowman. So, not a big draft at all, but, man, they may have hit on all of these people. And then this would be the draft where you would say, damn, that's when the Falcons put it all together there because they already have the pieces, right? Just need that defense to come. I'm not even really worried about the Falcons on offense because they're usually a very good offensive fit. I think the quarterback, once he get adjusted, Yeah, all hell can break loose there with the type of explosive talent that they have in Atlanta. So let me know what you think about your boy Xavier Watts. Keep it locked right here. Remember, if this video was chopped up, if they pull them content ID claims, I would post that bad boy on patreon.com/topbillin, and you can see the full unedited versions, right? For fans of Top Billin Film anyway, patreon.com/topbillin. Get in where you fit in. You feel me? All right. Much love to everybody out there. Salute.
Top Billin of Town Murf.